morning to anyone that's on the live stream. Good morning.
Morning
And
live
with that,
stream.
we're going to mute and Patty, take it away.
Well, good morning, Unity of Wichita. Welcome, welcome. I am Patty Yoon. I will be your platform leader today. Our music is by John Stringer. Our message is by Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselback. Our affirmations and meditations are by Eleanor Ferris. As always, we have Sam Jones in the background with Jessica helping us with our technology. Let's give them all a hand. Yay for being here, helping us out. Our greatest desire is that you are inspired by the music, the message, the meditation. You are a blessing to us. And this is the power of the month of strength. And strength is the ability to endure, to stay the course, to be resistant, persevere, and to be stable. So with that power of strength, let's say our mission statement together. Inspiring spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. And with that same power of strength, let's say our statement of being together. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Once again, we want to welcome everyone who is watching this morning. We especially want to welcome those of you who are here at Unity of Wichita for the very first time. We are honored to have you join us this morning. And our teachings, just gently take in what works for you, if they fit into your life, wherever you may be in your spiritual journey, and then gently release the rest. Unity is a worldwide ministry dedicated to the ongoing awareness of the spirit within all of us. So let's now bless everyone who is watching. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We will now move into a time of prayer. So let's just take a moment to settle ourselves and open our minds and open our hearts to the everywhere presence, always presence of spirit. We take this moment to open ourselves up to the divine that underlies the universe, the divine that is the essence of our being. We honor and affirm the innate divinity of each and every one of us, of each and every person, and of all beings. As we behold this innate divinity that we are, we embrace and affirm all that is in that divinity. And we claim this divinity for the experience of our lives. We open ourselves up to love, joy, intelligence, sufficiency, understanding, and beauty. We open ourselves up to this right now, and we affirm that all of these things are essential aspects of our divinity. And as we embrace this knowing, it equips us and enables us to see love, to see joy, to see intelligence, to see beauty in the world and claim it as our experience. We hold and affirm Unity of Wichita, this divine idea that allows all of us to be supported in our life journey and in our spiritual growth. We hold and affirm each and every person in our spiritual community. We hold them in the light of love and beauty, and affirm the innate divinity of each and every one of us to every person and every being in our neighborhoods, our communities, our city, our state, our country, and our world. We celebrate this innate divinity, and we know and affirm that each and every being is on a journey to greater unfoldment and greater experience of that spirit, of that divinity. Oh, and when we embrace this and when we know this and when we feel this in our hearts, a song of thanksgiving rings out from us. We are just resonating and vibrating in gratitude, knowing that we are living God's life of vibrancy, God's life of love and abundance. We are so grateful. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
This could be the day that changes everything. The day that all aligns. And this could be the time we'll remember all the love we've got inside. Together as one, facing the darkness, take a stand for love. We're gonna let it shine. Oh, light up the world, light up the night. Let it shine, you and I. Oh, we're gonna let it shine. Hey, you've got the love, you've got the light. Let it shine, you and I. We're gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, we're gonna let it shine. This could be the moment that joy comes shining through, and love, yes, it overcomes the night. Oh, this could be the instant when fear disappears and all we see is the light. Together as one, sisters and brothers, take a stand for love. We're gonna let it shine. Hey, light up the world, light up the night. Let it shine, you and I. Oh, we're gonna let it shine. Oh, you've got the love, you've got the light. Let it shine, you and I. We're gonna let it shine, 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 let it shine. We're gonna let it shine. Oh, let the world know that there's more to give when we open up our hearts and set them free. 'Cause we're letting go of the dark stories we believe, and we realize there's more to you and me. You and I, we're gonna let it shine. 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 We're gonna let it shine. Oh, oh, no, no. Let it shine. 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 We're gonna let it shine. Oh, oh, oh.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eleanor Ferris, and I'll be bringing affirmations and a meditation to share and engage in this morning with you. So our affirmations: I live the truth I know through my service to all. I live the truth I know through my service to all. Integrity is my nature, and divinity is my default. Integrity is my nature, and divinity is my default. My accountability evolves as I learn more about the truth of me. My accountability evolves as I learn more about the truth of me. I choose to engage in the responsibilities which accompany change. I choose to engage in the responsibilities which accompany change. And finally, I am now. I am the change. I am. I am now. I am the change. I am. And so if you are comfortable wherever you are, if you could get there, get comfortable. If that includes closing your eyes, resting your shoulders a bit, find what feels right. Relax. Settle into where the energy is thriving in your body and let it go. Let it do its thing. Breathe. We breathe. I invite you into the centered awareness. Centered awareness. As opposed to awareness of your center. Divinity is your default. Centered awareness. Divinity is your filter. Let it work. Let it be. Breathe with it. And as we know and allow and control our body in a way that we know when to relax, we know when to be active, we're choosing to relax. Let us ask ourselves from this comfortable, relaxed, and centered awareness. How do I live my life in service? If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, it's not service to each person, place, situation. The service is your integrity. You live the truth you are through your service based in integrity. You're not going to cover all the bases, and you're not supposed to. Integrity is your nature because divinity is your default. How do you know when you are in integrity? There is a communion, there is a oneness when the integrity of the divine expresses as you. We use our powers of wisdom and will as we choose how we best have been provided tools, skills put here on this planet to serve in integrity. It means with love. What if you actually loved everybody? We know the truth is that we do because we are. But sometimes we choose separation. Which is not our nature. As I live and choose how to engage, I know it is up to me, my wisdom, and the execution of my will to accompany forward thought in change. The evolution is happening. Let it be. Divine order is moving, changing to our perception, our surroundings, situations, people, because our humanity puts labels on things, which is good for us to understand how to move up, level up, claim that divinity you know is there. It's your default. Wisdom through love helps me know when I am the change. Shows me what is mine to do when I am open to all. Source is unlimited. The truth of you is unlimited. When you allow it to be. You are God with skin on. We let it shine. We let it shine. Sometimes something's too shiny for your comfort. Move with grace, divine order, change. Keep shining. Shine and breathe. Let the truth of you shine as you breathe. For we are always shining as long as we are breathing. We are always shining. In the minds when our breath has passed. Let your shine imprint love, integrity, encouragement, empathy, accountability, and service. Through integrity, we seek first the kingdom and give love to all. Let us now repeat our affirmations, one at a time on the screen. I live the truth I know through my service to all. Integrity is my nature, and divinity is my default. My accountability evolves as I learn more about the truth of me. I choose to engage in the responsibilities which accompany change. I am now. I am the change. I am. And so in the name and the nature of Source, the shining Christ in each, we say together, and so it is. Namaste.
passion rises up in the magic. And when your joy overflows and you're filled with compassion, that's love. That's love. What you see and what you learn, it's not the ultimate concern. It's what you choose to think and be. Feel the truth that sets you free. That's love. Yeah, yeah. That's love. Allow it to flow. Go ahead and get out the way. Let your night turn into day. Allow love to take control. It's about what moves your soul. Yeah, 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 yeah. What moves your soul. Alright. That's love. Oh yeah. That's love. When you offer forgiveness and let go of resistance, when you seek to understand and you lend a helping hand, yeah, whoa, that's love. Alright, allow it to flow. Go ahead and get out the way. Let your night turn into day. Allow love to take control. It's about what moves your soul. Yeah, yeah. Moves your soul. Alright. That's love. Yeah, yeah. That's love. Oh, it's the reason for living. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's why you deserve it all. Ooh, it's receiving and it's giving. Listen now. Can you hear the call that's in love? Yeah, yeah. That's love. Yeah, that's love. Allow it to flow.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Woof. All right. So I'm here, so you know there must be PowerPoints. So let me get those pulled up and ready to go. And here we go. And so I always like to start with this slide since I'm only with you once a month. And this is to remind you of my website, paulhasselbeck.com, my podcast, metaphysicalromp2.com, and of course, my email address, alberthasselbeck@gmail.com, in case you want to reach out to me for any reason. I'm really enjoying my tenure here as the Minister of Record, and I really enjoy working with the team. And so my talk today is called Triumphant. And there's my buddies, the minions, we're triumphant. And so we're going to talk about that and a few things. So here's the roadmap. We're going to review some fundamental concepts, which I often do. I don't assume that everyone knows my particular flavor or paradigm about the divine, and there can always be new people listening as well. And then we're going to transition to radical self-responsibility, and then faith, strength, and dominion, a few powers on how all of that relates together. And so you might recall my theme this year is make this year different by making it all the same. And we do that by beginning with our divinity. As Eleanor said, always, always, always defaulting to our innate divinity. And then this saying from Gospel of Thomas, the second saying, Jesus said, "Let one who seeks not stop seeking until that person finds. And upon finding, the person will be disturbed, and being disturbed will be astounded and will reign over the entirety." So I share that with you because you might get disturbed by something I share, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. So recently, I found another quote, an unpublished quote, as I was working with the ministerial students, and I've never read this twist on it. Jesus said, "You must know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." I know many of us have heard this. Maybe many of us have said this, but Charles added this, the truth about yourself. And really, that's what the focus of my ministry is about, the truth about ourselves. And then this recent quote was found, and this is from Eric Butterworth, who was a great minister and writer in the late 1900s. Jesus did not come here to tell of his divinity. His whole mission was to help us to know our own divinity. And for me, that means not a piece of the divine, not a spark of the divine, not a wave in the divine. That divinity is fully present at the point of view. We are fully divine and fully human. And then you might know or remember I did this a few weeks ago. This is sort of like an algebraic thing. If divine mind equals God equals principle, and principle equals I am, and the I am is my spiritual self, and the I am is your spiritual self, then my spiritual self and your spiritual self is God, principle, or mind. And to remind you, I already said it in a way, yet there is but one I am. In our divinity, we are identical. In our humanity, we are wondrously distinct. And this I am, it cannot be cut into parts. It is principle. And then God is it, neither male nor female, but principle. Many of us still go around with this idea of God being a deity or entity that lives someplace called heaven. But God is not a being. God is not he. God is not him. God is not her. So let's start talking a little bit about our personal power, which gets us into our personal responsibility. So our dominion, your dominion, my dominion, our authority is over our own thoughts, emotions, and passions. You are the sole king or queen of your consciousness. And not only do we have dominion over our consciousness, Charles says prayer makes each person a master in the realm of divine ideas. And this makes sense when we know our divinity is made up of what? Divine ideas. We could call them principles. We could call them powers. So we have dominion over our humanity, over our personality, and we have dominion over our divinity, the divine ideas that we fundamentally are. And so this gets us to radical self-responsibility. You see, you and I are 100% responsible for our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, images, feelings, emotions, perceptions, experiences, and attitudes. You alone, me alone. And we've grown up in such a culture, such a victim culture, that we think other things are causing our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, images, and feelings, emotions, perceptions, experiences, and attitudes. But that's not the truth. So just what is radical self-responsibility? That simply means you are 100% responsible for you. You are 100% responsible for yourself. And we could call it responsibility, because when we remember we are the ones in the driver's seat, then how I respond and react in every situation is on me. No one else, no thing, no person makes you or I react or respond in any way. And this gives us tremendous power. Radical power. And so just to be clear, because there's things that float around in unity circles and new thought circles about we are responsible for everything that happens in our lives. No, we are not responsible for everything that happens to us and around us. Do you really think you're responsible for COVID? Do you think every person that was in the 9/11 incident was responsible for those planes flying into those towers? Is the person innocently driving down the street that then gets hit by a drunk driver responsible for the drunk driver hitting them? No, we are not responsible for everything that happens to us and around us. Now, I'm responsible for what I do, because what I do begins with my thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and images, feelings, emotions, perceptions, and attitudes. You see, we got to be clear. There are some events I cause. There's some events I choose to participate in. And some events happen that I didn't even know were coming my way. But I am not responsible. You are not responsible for all of them. But again, you are, I am, we are responsible for our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, images, feelings, emotions, experiences, and attitudes, perceptions, and actions. So this radical self-responsibility is not selfish. It's selfful and includes helping others. It includes accountability, being authentic, and integrity. So when I say not selfish or not egotistical or not narcissistic, this is not about me, and only me. I've heard some people say that they think that unity is all too inward directed. And yeah, it can be perceived that way if we don't really understand the teaching. So when I'm radically self-responsible, I'm not being selfish, I'm not being egotistical, and I'm not being narcissistic. Though someone could do it that way. In fact, it's all about being self-full. And that self includes my divinity. And when we are being self-full, it also includes helping others. It's not about me. It's about me and we. Because I'm a better we, you're a better we when you are taking care of your me. And this is a great quote from Myrtle Fillmore from her Healing Letters that kind of speaks to this. As you help others spiritually and in every way, you not only fulfill the law of giving and receiving, you develop your own resources and capabilities in fuller measure. And those resources include your divinity, not only your human resources, but your resources as divine, and especially your 12 powers. So what about accountability? It's about answerability. It's about being accountable. It's about when we're accountable, we are showing up better in the we. Because it's not about radical self-responsibility. I'm going to do anything I want and the hell with you. It's about doing what I say I'm going to do. It's also about being authentic. And I looked up this, and these are amazing words associated with authentic. Being true, being reliable, being dependable, being faithful, being trustworthy, and being genuine. And I hope you see how those words often are in association, or are words that represent when we're in association with other people. And then integrity, which is kind of close to being authentic. It's about honesty. It's about truthfulness. It's about honor. It's about reliability. And it's about uprightness. And all of this begins with your divinity. All of this begins with you being the very best you can be. And this always includes how you're managing those thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and images, and feelings and emotions, as well as your actions. And so this brings us to the 12 powers as tools to manage our being radically self-responsible. And so these are the general ideas around the 12 powers I want to remind you of. Everyone has them, whether conscious of them or not. Everyone is always using them. They don't care how they're used. They can be overdeveloped or undeveloped, and they can be used at any level of consciousness. And when you think about the levels of consciousness, remember in this context, I'm talking about whether you're showing up as a victim, whether you're showing up as a victor, whether you're showing up as a vessel, or whether you're showing up verity. Verity is that in standing in the knowing of your divinity. And so we're going to be looking at 3 of these powers: faith, strength, and dominion. So answer this question to yourself. Do you notice you have the ability to believe? Do you notice you have the ability to stay the course and be steadfast and steady? Do you notice you have the ability to stand in your personal authority? Do you notice you have the ability to master and control? Well, if you're like most people, you answered yes to those. So it is already self-evident, and you kind of proved it to yourself, that you already have these abilities. And now let's talk about them a little deeper. So since this is the month we're celebrating the power of strength, let's begin with that. So strength is our ability to stay the course, persevere, be steady, be strong, and any other related word you can think of. Now, strength we can use to build up our bodies. We can use it to stick with something. And in that case, we're talking about strength of mind. And this is the key to the power of strength. Do you have strength of mind? And when we're talking about radical self-responsibility and all those traits I shared with you, there are situations where many of us might be tempted to not act honestly, not act authentically, not act in integrity. And that's that very moment we have to call on our power of strength. And remember to stay the course and stick with what works best for us in being the very best we can do. Now, the interesting thing about strength is if you're trying to stick to something that you don't believe in, then you're probably not going to stick with it. So, for example, if you started a diet and you start out, you have all that enthusiasm, you've got zeal going with this, and you're doing fine, but in the back of your mind, you don't believe the diet's going to work, or you don't believe in yourself enough to think that you can stick with it. And if that's the case, if you don't have a strong understanding faith that is supporting your power strength, you're not going to be able to stick with anything. And remember, faith is the ability to believe. And when I talked about this before, I talked about it as a range from hope to belief to conviction, and whatever falls in between. And I think the most important one there is conviction. When we have conviction, we can stick with something and see it through. And remember, we're not talking about blind faith, a faith based on an outer power. We're talking about understanding faith. It's a knowing faith. It's a faith based on the principles we know and the law. And in this case, when we're working with mind or consciousness, we're talking about the law of mind action, which is thoughts held in mind with feeling produce more thoughts with feeling of the same kind in mind, in my mind, in your mind. And so with faith and strength working together, we can stick with something. We can see a project through when our zeal, our enthusiasm has lessened. And so it is with strength that we move forward and persevere to the end. And then we want to throw in a good old dose of dominion. So dominion is that sense of personal authority over oneself. And so in order to stay the course, you want to have dominion over that, wouldn't you? And dominion also is our ability to master something new, and to control anything that gets in the way. Well, what might get in the way? Well, if you're sticking with that diet and you're having those doubt thoughts, you want to control those thoughts. You want to tamp them down while you master doing this diet. So you can see how these three powers, that how we can use these three powers to be truly triumphant in any course of action we decide to take. And so this is yet another way to make this year different by making it all the same. We begin with our divinity. We remember we have the power of strength. We have the power of faith. We have the power of dominion, so we can stick with the things that are ours to do. And so, friends, that's how we are triumphant in mind. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. That was so amazing, and I learned things every time you speak. Paul, I just appreciate all of your sharing of wisdom and bringing us all together. And we are certainly blessed here at Unity of Wichita by the music, the message, the meditation, and the love that we feel. And we appreciate that so much. So if you are guided to give an offering or a tithe this morning, the link will be in the chat box, but it's also at www.unityofwichita.org/donations. Or you can share a check directly to the church at Unity of Wichita, 2160 North Oliver, Wichita, Kansas 67208, or just bring it by during regular business hours. Whatever amount you are guided to give, just visualize your electronic tithe or hold your check over your heart. And let's say together our offering blessing. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Amen.
Thank you, Patty. Good morning, everyone. We have to talk about the announcements this morning, per usual. Just keep in mind that as you see your e-blast coming out, please look for the teams that are coming together. We'll be meeting with the board this week, and this week we'll start talking a little bit more about how we're going to move forward. Also, the prayer chaplain training is coming up very soon. April 16th and 17th seems a really long way away, but it's really not. So if you're feeling called to be part of the prayer chaplain program at Unity of Wichita, or you just want to deepen your understanding of prayer within Unity, because as you know, it's very different than the traditional prayers that we heard perhaps growing up, or that we hear on a lot of television churches. So when we come together for this prayer chaplain training, you'll learn several different types of prayer, and I know that it will be a fulfilling event for each of you. So be sure and check that out. The first interviews, if you have questions or anything like that, is going to be April the 11th following Sunday experience. Also today, after Sunday morning experience, we will have the membership class. It will be about 11:15, and so we'll get off of this call closer to 11:05 today, and then we move forward into next Sunday. It's finally here. Next Sunday is going to be the annual meeting. If you did not get your notification in the mail and you are a member of Unity of Wichita, in your e-blast, there are links to the notification and the proposed bylaw changes. Please check those out. And finally, this Thursday, Connect to Connect. It's a wonderful opportunity for us just to have fun and socialize with one another. The last month's Connect to Connect was so much fun, and it was so meaningful. So if you want to be part of that, be sure and check your e-blast or the Unity calendar for the Zoom link to be part of that. Finally, we want to remember the youth department, which I'm so excited. If you follow Unity of Wichita's YouTube channel, then you already know that there's a fun video from the youth department posted. If you're not, I invite you to go click subscribe on Unity of Wichita's YouTube channel and check out the new youth video that will be officially unveiled on Easter Sunday. But until then, let's hold our youth department in our mind's eyes, in our hearts, and let's bring them into our awareness as we offer this blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. And with that, we send it back over to Mr. Art Handy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. And for you big kids with the youthful spirit, we love and appreciate you just as you are. Thank you so much for being the Sunday experience by lending your energy and your attention and your presence. And now we will move into our prayer of protection, and we will affirm the energy and the vibration of peace. You can see the prayer on the monitor. Let us, from a very heart-centered place, affirm this prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever we are, love is, intelligence is, and certainly wherever we are, peace is. From this consciousness of peace, let us affirm, I am peace. I am peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin as me. God bless you.